Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and thank you very much for joining us from wherever you are in the world for this very interesting 30-minute panel discussion on humans and AI and the winning formula for innovation and growth. As we know, artificial intelligence has been a catalyst for transformation and disrupted industries at unprecedented pace. And contrary to popular belief, AI is not here to replace us, and it serves as rather a more powerful tool to augment our human capabilities and drive innovation. During this session, we'll delve into the crucial role that human AI collaboration will play in shaping our future. And this leading panel of AI experts will address the disruptive power that can be unleashed with the merger of human creativity and the sheer processing power of artificial intelligence. Having said that, I would like to introduce to you our esteemed panelists. We have Ivan Poperev, who's the CEO and CTO and co-founder of Architect AI. We have Ahmed Ghanem, who's the co-founding partner, Deep Opinion AI. And we have Wael Saloom, rounding us off, ex-VP Data and AI, ex-Careem. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us today. It is a pleasure to have you on this panel. And to introduce myself, my name is Andrew Mackay, and I am from our global Black Belt team, and I lead a wonderful, talented set of experts across Central Europe, Middle East, and Africa, driving AI customers across these regions. To get straight into it, perhaps, Ivan, I will start with you because I think this is a very interesting topic. What is physical AI and why should startups know about it?
Thank you for asking this question. What we think about the physical AI is a new kind of form of artificial intelligence, which is specifically built for the real world sensor data to understand, perceive, and reason about the physical world around us. So today's AI system mostly work online. They talk about text, images, videos, everything which people sharing in the digital world. But the real problems we're trying to solve are not just in the digital world, they're also in the physical world. In the physical world, it runs by sensor data. So in the physical AI directions, we have multiple companies who are focusing on building advanced AI models and advanced AI platforms which can reason about the physical world from sensor data. And we're talking about a variety of sensors. We're talking about things like cameras and radars and IMUs and gas sensor, variety of time series data, electrical consumption, electrical grid management, all those sensors which kind of collect the data about the physical world, but hard to perceive. And that's what physical AI focuses on, to help people to understand the physical world through the power of artificial intelligence.
Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you, Ivan, for sharing that. Just to continue with you, because I think this is the most important thing that startups and young enterprises struggle with sometimes. So continuing with the theme of physical AI, how does physical AI move beyond the use cases we see today to address complex real-world challenges?
Right. So we're working with I myself working for the startup Architect AI, which we founded, and I can also speak for a variety of companies who are working in the physical world. What we see here is several kind of directions where this technology can be applied. On one side, we see a lot of companies who went through digital transformation, and they're collecting a large amount of data about their businesses through a variety of sensor data, whether it's cameras or some telemetry or some sort of physical data coming from their devices or warehouses, shops, retail industry. All this data is being collected, and analyzing this data is actually really expensive, very difficult to do. So with the AI system, we can give companies like construction companies a opportunity to very rapidly understand by not asking natural questions with very natural user interface question, asking questions to the AI system, what happens during the construction site, how much operations being happening on that particular day, how much operations happens a particular day, and be able to connect all these dots to automation from, for example, cameras and weather sensors and other kind of non-sensor information like the textual reports to create one single view of 360 degrees what's happening inside of the information. We're also talking, for example, to companies automotive companies, and the modern car generates a huge amount of data, which allows to monitor a variety of information inside of the car. So how can we use this information to make car more responsive and intelligent and understand the intent of the human who are either driving the car or people around the car to make it safer, more intuitive, and more enjoyable to use? And my third example would be like the very large grid companies, for example, electrical grid companies has a large amount of information to managing the grid. How can we collect all this information and predict potential problems, predictive maintenance, predict where there's a danger for the grid to fail or for particular parts of the grid to fail. Be able to understand this physical data and through AI be able to sort of predict the future and where that potential problems can happen, predictive maintenance, predictive and all sort of a variety of use cases like that. So these are real big use cases where you have a lot of information for a lot of systems and you try to solve them. And what's most important is to, which could topic of this conversation, is not do it through the dashboards, not do it through like programming, not do it through the very complex tools, but using natural interfaces such as asking questions, gestures, and people's presence can be used to interact with those information in a very easy to understand way. So anybody can become AI experts and apply AI techniques for their problems. So this kind of democratizations of AI for physical world use cases is very important in what we're trying to do.
Fantastic. Thank you, Ivan. So the way I understood what you just said is it's important when we think of designing these AI systems or these AI-powered systems with the complex data structures and volume of data structures, velocity of the data coming into that modern day.
And variety, yes, exactly. And variety of data, because unlike in digital world where I'm mostly dealing with a few formats of the data, when I deal with physical world, you have a large amount of what we call multimodal streams of data, where you have anything from cameras to electrical consumption to flow of the traffic through your streets. All that data can be collated by AI and analyzed together holistically. That's very critical.
And I think the most important thing there is closing the loop and making sure that the data generated from your AI or the insights generated from your AI solution is then played back into the operational system like the car, the health and safety system, so the human interacting with it can ask questions using natural language or voice or even vision in some cases.
Yeah, that's exactly correct. So the goal here is to build the natural human to AI interaction in the real physical world is a very important part of those systems. And that interaction has to happen very transparently.
Thank you very much, Ivan, for sharing that with us. I'd like to move to Weil. And I think this is a very important question for young startups as well. How can startups move beyond the AI hype and identify potential impactful use cases for AI within their businesses?
First of all, thank you for inviting me. It's an honor and privilege to be here, especially along with this team panelists. Thank you for the very important question. To answer this, there's a couple of key parts we have to understand, which is where are we in the hype cycle and what does that mean? And important to realize that the hype applies to different parts of the AI and different spaces. I follow and I adhere to the Gartner hype cycle, which you can look it up, and it has 5 phases. They just published a recent report where we basically say that they believe we're currently in the total disillusionment of AI. I still believe we're in the previous stage called the peak of inflated expectations, where people still have very, very high hopes. It's still very, very hyped. And we're about to enter the reality of understanding what are the actual implications of AI to do it. But what's exciting about the stage we're entering right now is people are beginning to realize the limitations. Up until now, everyone thinks they can do everything. And we're believing that AI, there's a lot of this worry, fear that AI will replace us as humans. And I don't believe that's to be the case. And I actually think AI is going to help augment us. What is worth noting, though, in this hype is that AI will change how our workforce operates. In particular, the old industrial revolution replaced a lot of blue-collar workers, and now this AI revolution is going to make some high-waged employees less relevant. We don't need as many of them. And so it's actually quite important to identify the changes that are happening and what this means for us. And now that we know where the hype is, and largely the hype right now is around generative AI and the infrastructure behind it, then the question is, how do we identify them? What do we do, and how do we address this? And it's important to recognize how this is going to change the upcoming world, right? When electricity came, or when reading was around, literacy back in the old days was, and not everyone was literate, no one realized how valuable it would be if everyone could read, or if everyone had access to electricity. And I think right now everyone is overestimating the full impact of what if everyone had AI. But I do agree we're entering a world where AI is being democratized. And what has changed fundamentally is that it's made some things much faster to do. Before, it took a train of highly specialized data scientists about a year to build a sentiment analysis. When I used to run my teams in Google and WhatsApp, it took about a year for us to release sentiment analysis. Now, with using ChatGPT, even with 3.5, I was able to build a comparable tool in all of about 30 minutes. And that is actually quite important to realize, that moat has now become much shorter and smaller to develop, and that's the key difference that's happening right now. So the question is, what's the new moat? What makes us create something that's valuable? And the new moat becomes around our access to data, and our capabilities of leveraging that. There are all these big companies that are currently, and where I believe a lot of the hype is in a lot of the LLMs and space. If you have $100 million, by all means, compete in that space. But most people are going to compete in the applied AI space or the physical AI space. And there, if you just build a chatbot with a very thin veneer layer of prompt engineering around the LLMs, you're going to be replaced very, very quickly. I will caution you to look back to the old, when phones were developed, people created these apps that would turn on the flashlight, and that quickly went away once it was integrated in the iOS. Is a very similar stage here. So we have to make sure that we start building applications that actually involve actual proprietary data. And one great example of this, to make it practical, Andrew Ng was my old professor at Stanford, and one of the luminaries of the AI revolution. And he recently gave a talk where he has a venture, and what they're trying to build is looking at the capabilities of identifying pizza imperfections. Now, most pizzerias are not able in the past to afford AI teams. But if he can build a way for us to get a picture of a pizza, and then we tell the pizza company, the pizza maker, hey, this is imperfect, put more cheese here and that, they can improve the quality of their pizzas. And so what they're trying to do is say, okay, I'll take a picture, we'll build our AI behind using agent workflows and RAG models, and then the pizza company will be able to upload their own pictures, and then provide their own data, which remains proprietary to them. We create this platform for them, and then now we can look at pizzas. And that same technology can then be used to identify qualities in factories and workers and breads and everything else. So it becomes a very generalizable technology that they develop for one particular company. And that same model is what you should apply for. So identify the moat, identify a use case, build with one use case, and then scale up generalizable is the way to go to get past all this.
Well, thank you, Walfish. If I can just distill that down, I think you said two important points. One is, with the Gen AI powered revolution, it sort of flipped the equation on how we can build out these AI solutions. In the past, we had these ML models, lots of data, lots of training and experimentation. That part is almost short-circuited. And the second part is thinking about your use case and the natural user interface of how the human and this AI machine are going to work together. Because if you simply wrap a prompt around a LLM and have a web interface, that's definitely not going to work in your case. So thank you for sharing those insights. Ahmed, I would like to move to you, because I think now we've sort of understood the hype and where to focus our attention. In your experience, what are the most effective metrics, processes, and scorecards that startups can use to track and measure the success of these AI initiatives?
Absolutely. Thank you, Andrew, for having me here. Really excited. I actually am maybe touching back on Wael's comment. I'm on the more hyped side of the technology, just because I see a lot of impact potential in AI. I actually believe that artificial intelligence will be the most transformative technology of our lifetime. And by that, it has immense potential for startups. Just like we've seen a wave of startups emerge out of having democratized the internet and cloud computing. Now, AI, and more specifically Gen AI, allows startups to increase their impact. So I wouldn't be surprised that if we see within the next couple of years a 10-people unicorn emerge because of the potential of AI to amplify their impact. Now, when it comes to metrics in leveraging AI, at the end of the day, there are two metrics that matter for us for the success of a startup. So one is the speed, which is how fast can you operate your process and iterate and improve. And then the second one is your differentiated value. How can you earn your right to exist as a startup with the abundance of technology around you? And this is where we've seen zooming and aligning your AI initiatives to those two metrics to help you, be faster and add more value to your customers is how it's done. I can give you a couple of examples from our experience and what we've done in that space. So in terms of process or speed, we've actually leveraged AI to ship product and sell product faster. In terms of shipping product, we've integrated GitHub Copilot, for example, with our developers, which allowed us to ship product faster and experience a productivity increase of around 25%. And at the same time, on the go-to-market side, we've been leveraging Gen AI as well to help us produce hundreds of landing pages to test on what sticks with customers. And we've managed to do that with a one-person product marketing team. So that's on the process side. When it comes to the product, we've actually, after being an AI and automation company, we've spent the time to learn what matters to our customers. And we've learned that the number one metric for our customers is the rate of no-touch automation. How many transactions can be completed by AI with zero human intervention? And we use that metric as an anchor point for all of our R&D and product development work. And we kept pushing everything and prioritizing what goes to our product roadmap based on that metric. And we already see the results, and we're really glad to see the results out of that. We've seen that by leveraging Gen AI, just as Ivan mentioned, now the interaction between the technology and the domain expert is democratized. So we demolished that barrier so that an expert can explain a task, let's say processing an insurance claim in natural language, and in hours instead of weeks or months, there is a ready solution to be leveraged. In terms of the quality of the solution, we've also managed to leverage AI and the power of reasoning with Gen AI to basically enhance that straight-through processing rate that much more can be accurately processed by AI, and very little needs human validation. And with that, we've enhanced both our process and our product. So my advice to startups that are considering to leverage AI, it's time. So jump on it and explore how you can align any AI initiative to being faster in your iteration and adding more value to your customers.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ahmed. I think that was extremely insightful. I specifically like the point you made on, automation, full automation, right, and measuring that capability, because I think that implies trust. And as we know with these AI solutions, trust is, I think, the ultimate goal for you as a product developer or a startup, and also transferring that to your customers so that they can trust that the machine is going to do the work it says it will do in a responsible manner. So thank you for sharing that. So just a quick recap. So we understood what physical AI is and how important it is to the human AI collaboration. We sort of uncovered how to sift through the hype and then give you some advice on how you can sort of measure your product development with AI. I'd like to, just move it on a little bit and focus on the collaboration of human and AI. And perhaps in this regard, while I'll come back to you, and the question that we have is, how can startups best leverage the strengths of both humans and AI to create that winning formula for innovation and growth? What specific roles should they play?
Thanks for the excellent question. Honestly, I actually think Ahmed already gave an excellent answer to this very question. I won't repeat all his points, but he cited both that Ivan mentioned as well, democratization of access, and in particular, bringing a subject matter expert closer to be able to leverage AI. Again, the big change that has happened is that in the past, AI was the foray of only highly specialized teams who had access to that technology, and now through ChatGPT natural language processing, we're actually able to access it across the board. So this focus at what should people specialize in. The subject matter experts just continue to specialize subject matter experts, and they're the ones who know the field and the area the best. In all of the companies I invest in or I work with, it's the same thing. I look for to ensure that there's a subject matter expert there who understands the space and the field. This is the same playbook that Gary Tan of Y Combinator, Andrew Ng of Venture Fund, and Ramesh of MIT also follow, and through all their investments. And specifically, is does someone understand the space that they're going to? And so Ahmed talked about having a one-person marketing team. One person is a marketing expert and is able to leverage AI to improve their efficiencies and productivity dramatically. I think that's extremely important and key. The second key aspect is to identify two things. One is to use AI to automate a lot of processes and actually improve and iterate and understand through your research and combining understanding a product. And then third, leveraging the human's capability for creative thinking. AI we are still, there's a lot of hype around AGI. I believe we're at least 2 decades away still from this. We're not quite there yet. And as a result, the humans are still the most capable, even if they have to use AI to guide it, in identifying the creative aspects of it and going through things. And then you can leverage AI to be very specific, saying, hey, I want to build a sentiment analysis model. I want to build a way to optimize my ads. And then the AI tool can help you, show you how to do it, and even start coding it for you. And now all of a sudden you become, as Ahmed and Ivan both point out, democratize access to the AI.
Yeah, thank you very much for sharing that point of view. I think as I said in the opening, there's all this fear there that AI is going to replace us in the workplace. But I think based on the sentiment coming out from the industry now, it's not about the machine replacing a human, but it's more about professionals who adopt AI in their day-to-day work. Those are the ones that are going to get preference in the workplace potentially in the future. So that's really where the threat is coming from. So perhaps, Ivan, I'd like to move to you now. And the question I have is, focusing again on the human-AI collaboration, who will benefit from physical AI, and how do you envision the ideal collaboration between humans and physical AI?
Thank you for this question. And again, I think other panelists gave some answers already, which is quite exciting. We see two. I tell you what we see from the market when we talk to customers. One of the biggest kind of values of AI I can see by talking to different customers is an ability of AI to dramatically amplify organizations, amplify people, and remove kind of like drudgery of very kind of a repetitive and unnecessary tasks, and really focus on building value with the whatever field the domain expertise they're working on. So AI on one side can remove a lot of work and a lot of things which is more manual and more drudgery and repetitive and so on and so forth. So really give people opportunity to focus on the best things. So at the same time, we see AI is being used with our customers as a way to explore opportunities, explore new ideas, which otherwise they would not be able to do it because the tools to explore these new opportunities is too difficult to use and too difficult to build. So this AI gives amazing opportunities to customers to start trying things which otherwise they cannot do. So, and I think the same particularly applies to the startups. By the way, I think startups using advanced new techniques, advanced new models, models which I'm peering every day, like our model we just recently launched it, gives them opportunity to rapidly prototype the idea and try rapidly to find that particular product market fit, which otherwise would take much longer before. And the third thing we see is that we see that the quite a lot of companies to grow, there's this lack of expertise. Like domain experts are difficult to find, AI experts are difficult to find. Specific expertise is, in short supply. A lot of industries experiencing rapid growth, particularly with, expanding internationally, growing their businesses, and they see the AI as an opportunity to sort of like fill that need for the expertise. First by amplifying the expert, but also another one is capturing the best techniques and the best know-how, which sometimes tend to be quite not easy to formalize. It's very subjective how the expert do certain things. How can you capture that knowledge by the expert into the AI system so it can be available everybody across organizations, and how everybody in the organization can be an expert in AI. And that's something which we are working quite focused on giving that strong AI capabilities to anybody in an organization. So this is we see this three kind of like path where AI and humans will benefit and work together.
Yeah, thank you, yeah, Ivan. I think good examples, or I don't know, examples to learn from were, I think it was called the Rabbit R1 or M1. I can't remember the exact product name, and there was the AI pin. These two physical products tried to put AI in there, and they had these different interfaces on your hand. Unfortunately, those products didn't take off for whatever reason, but I think it was a good attempt and a good example for startups and organizations to start exploring, their human AI collaboration and what that might look like, right? So good lessons learned from examples. Ahmed, I would like to move back to you. And the question that we have for you is, in your experience, what are the common challenges startups or organizations face when trying to integrate AI with human teams, and how can they potentially overcome them?
Actually, perfect. That's a spot-on question. I'll focus on organizations because those are our customers and we work with them very closely. The interesting part, Andrew, is that the appetite is there. So companies are investing heavily in AI and more specifically in Gen AI. Take, for example, a recent report by Capgemini. Average of large organization is investing around $100 million a year in Gen AI to get it right. We're yet to see the impact of how that emerges. But the challenge is not in the budget itself, but what does it mean for that organization? Today we are in this human plus AI event. How would a hybrid organization that consists of people and AI look like? That for sure would look significantly differently than how orgs are structured today. So I think a good exercise to start by looking at individual tasks. We've seen that from different research that it's not smart to compare AI to jobs, but rather to tasks until we reach to higher maturity. So if we look at the tasks and they maybe split them into three different buckets, what are the tasks that are better done on autopilot, the high volume, repetitive tasks that can happen in the background by AI? That's one bucket. The second bucket is, let's call it the co-pilot bucket, where in collaboration, both AI and humans can complement each other. Let's talk about, writing a marketing copy, replying to emails, doing different tasks that requires more deeper expertise as well, or validation. And then the third one, let's call it the human pilot, where either there is no high impact for AI or there is no high ROI. With those three, you can already see and even already update your org chart to say, okay, those roles or set of tasks can already be done by AI. Then what does that mean for my org structure? Should it look different? Arguably, yes, because today we've designed our org structure from the Industrial Revolution to be predominantly done manually or maybe by operated machines. We've done that with the Digital Revolution, and we have operated computers with let's call them cubicle farms for people to operate that. But with AI, some of that tasks would shift over, and we would start to see that even the role of humans will significantly change, and we'll have wider breadth of a task. For example, a product manager can already become a project manager at the same time and finish work faster and create bigger impact. And this means that growth and speed and velocity of those large organizations, which is their main limitation, will start to unlock. So my advice to those organizations, rethink your org structure with a hybrid workforce that consists of both human and AI, because we know the maturity and the capability of AI is only going in one direction. It's going to get better and help you to achieve more. So this is the right time to leverage it.
Thank you very much, Ahmed, for that very insightful answer. Unfortunately, we've run out of time. It's amazing how time goes by when you're having fun. But gentlemen, thank you very, very much for your time and answering our questions in the most insightful manner possible. I hope our audience took away the answers and insights that you gave them. I personally thought they were very, very good. So thank you once more.
Thank you.
And that I will let you close. Thank you very much. So to our audience, thank you very much for being with us today, and I hope you enjoyed the session. We have more sessions lined up, and so stay tuned for our next session called Destination Abu Dhabi, where startups soar. That goes live on the 29th of August at 12 p.m. GST, and we have our audience from the head of value creation at Hub 71, Abu Dhabi Investment Office, and the Applied AI company. So a fantastic set of speakers and panelists for you to gain more insights from as a startup. Thank you very much and have a good day.